Happy springtime. Christy Garner, self-empowerment specialist and transformation coach here. How are you? I am tuning in today to talk a little bit about stress, your brain, your relationships, and you. Tips for spring, how to feel more energized, rested, and grateful. So thanks for joining in if you're here. Thanks for watching the replay. Hashtag replay if you got one. I was walking and listening and thinking today about what is it that is alive this first day of spring. So spring is about moving from the hibernation energy to the moving energy, to the soaring energy, to the sprouting, blossoming, blooming energy. So there's definitely a piece of this that I feel like is moving the energy up your chakra system into your heart and your throat, right? Maybe even into your third eye or out your crown. But there's a way of like the energy is rising up and it's coming out. So how is stress affecting you in this time of year? How are you feeling about stress? And what can you do to feel more energized and rested? So one of the things that I talk a lot about is mindfulness, and the other one is meditation. And today, while I was exercising and clearing my mind, I was thinking about the difference between meditation and exercise. So exercise helps you to kind of relieve some of the built up stress from the day or the few days, right? It's like, it's kind of immediate. It happens right now. It's like you go and exercise and you relieve some of the stuff that's in your body. And I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that the stress that you have at your job or with your kids or with your relationship, it builds up cortisol and adrenaline in your body, right? Your brain, the amygdala, releases these huge amounts of cortisol and adrenaline, and it goes into the systems of your body, and it can cause fatigue. It causes lots of different illnesses. They say stress is the number one leader for heart attacks now. So I think it also probably builds up and causes other long-term diseases and illnesses. It definitely can cause a lot of inflammation in your body, and inflammation can lead to some stuff happening, like inflammation in your gut can really affect the way that everything is digesting and processing, and what kind of foods and minerals and vitamins you get from those foods. So stress can have a huge effect, and it does have a huge effect on your body. Well, it also has a huge effect on your brain and your relationships and who you feel close to and who you feel good around. So when you're stressed out, you have a reduced ability to feel connected to people, right? You feel more alone, you feel more isolated, you feel more needing to take care of yourself. And maybe not in the best self-care way, just like kind of unable to handle other people's energy. So like, I have to do this thing for me and I can't even think about you. So stress really kind of turns us into our own little island, right? Stress island, let's call it. I like this idea. And so when you're on stress island, your relationships suffer. Your relationships with your kids, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your partner, whatever it is, that starts to suffer. So tips for spring to have more energy and feel more rested and grateful is to find ways to not only just exercise and get some of those things out of your body, right? Like move the blood around in your body, get some new clean blood in there, fresh energy, breathing, a lot of yogic breathing, actually. Yeah. And a lot of other ones that really bring a lot of energy to you. Those are good things to practice right now in the spring. And then the other piece is, once you relieve stress from the day, from like exercise and breathing and like getting yourself enlivened and full of energy and breath, because breath is life, right? Breath. you need to also slough off some of the past crappy stuff that's been kind of weighing on you. So winter hibernation, things that, contemplation, changes. There are a lot of things in winter that can be let go of. So a great practice would be, besides getting in your exercise, eating some nice healthy food, drinking your water, is doing a little bit of reflection time. Okay, meditation. Maybe you don't feel like you can meditate, you can't clear your mind. I'm not talking about clearing your mind. I'm just talking about making the space to sit with yourself and to feel what's coming up, right? It's not exercising, walking on a trail. Like, that's great. If you take time to mindfully walk on that trail, or mindfully, meditatively walk and pay attention to your thoughts and what's going on, that can be a walking meditation, can work, but it's not exercise, right? Exercising is a totally different thing. Mindful reflection and turning inside and letting what's weighing on the body show itself through either sensations and pains in your body, or like sometimes if I've been doing a lot of work, my hands and my wrists start to hurt, and it's when I haven't taken good care of myself to release the stories that I'm holding, is when I start to get a lot of wrist pain. So that's one of the ways that I know that I need to take some time to clear out some things inside of myself, is when I start to get some pains in my wrist. I don't know if you have some similar story about your knee or your neck or your back, whatever. So taking some time to sit with that. Maybe there's some underlying sadness or grief that you've brought with you this winter. So taking some time to feel into that and just following the sensations of what that feels like in your body. Set a timer for 15 minutes and do that. If you're having a hard time meditating, you can check out zivameditation.com. Really great resource there. But if you already have a practice, do that. Or maybe it's journaling if you don't want to meditate, which I strongly suggest you try. You can sit down and write, and just let yourself write for 14 minutes, set a timer, and just keep writing and say what's next, and what's next, and what's next. And this doesn't have to be an all-day dive into what you're carrying, but it's important right now in this big transition from winter to spring to pay attention to what it is that you are carrying, so that you can let some of that go, right? So you can take the seeds of things that aren't going to come to fruition this year, the things that you don't have time to nourish, the things that aren't part of what's going to be bringing you joy. And you say, like, these seeds, they are wonderful and important, but they're not what I'm planting this year. So I need to kind of let those stories go. Yeah. Maybe you have some resentments or hurts or feelings that you've been carrying this winter. Now's a good time to check into those and see which ones you want to not carry with you through the spring and the summer. So finding ways to energetically cut ties with those stories, finding ways to turn them into compost, right? How do you do that? Are you a gardener? Do you get down and work in the soil? If you do, this is a good time to kind of take those stories and just put them into your hands energetically, and then put them into your garden. Like, compost this year's growth with last year's death, with the things that are ready to die, right? And water the things that are living. So bringing energy to your relationships, bringing energy to your life, bringing exercise, bringing breath, bringing fresh foods and lots of water. Those are all ways to feel more energized and rested. Focusing on 3 things that you're grateful for while you're brushing your teeth. Always a great exercise. Do that every single day. And not just like, yes, I'm grateful for some things, but like literally say what they are, 3 things. That's a great way to have a little bit more gratitude this spring. And the last thing I just want to say is stress causes our bodies to be in a heightened sense of awareness. And if you notice in a relationship with yourself, or if you have a partner, that person is agitated or stressed out a lot of time, a really good way to offer some healing to yourself or to a partner is to say, like, wow, I can tell you're stressed out today. Let me give you a little hand massage. And you don't have to know how to do massage to do this. You just Do you ever rub your own hands? It feels so good, right? You just kind of follow the muscles and the bones in someone's hand and you just kind of rub the stress right out of them, right? And just spend 5 minutes. If you could rub your partner's feet, rub your own feet, but there's a lot of things that work better when it's your body to someone else's. Spend 15 minutes rubbing your partner's feet this week. Like, hey, you've had a really stressful week. Let me just give you a little foot massage. 15 minutes usually can take the body from a stress response into a parasympathetic response. And that can start to heal a lot of things, not only just your relationship and your feeling of connectedness, but it also starts to heal things in the body, right? Having these hormones and these systems all working together in alignment inside digestion, right? That doesn't work as well when we're stressed. Heart rate slowing down, releasing some good oxytocin and dopamine into the system. So things that make us feel good and feel connected and feel energized. And the more we can do that for ourselves, do that for our partners, then we can rest more, right? Our rest becomes deeper. So make a little gratitude list and try to do something for yourself or your partner that brings the body into this picture to release some stress. So those are some great tips for this first spring weekend. Hope you're enjoying it. And I hope a little mindfulness meditation and a mindset will help you get through this time and deepen your relationship with yourself and those around you. Okay. Have a wonderful evening. Aloha.